today. So every day we start fresh because we can't affect the past, but we damn sure can make a difference today.
Happy New Year and welcome to episode 34 of Shop Talk. It's Jennifer.
It's Carrie.
And we're back with a recap of 410. The first episode of 2022 kicked off with a bang, picked up right where we left off, and there were a lot of good moments. So we can just jump right in. We don't have much news. We'll kind of talk about the promo. Do you want to go over your thoughts on that?
Well, I just had thoughts because, like, you know how, like, practically all the promotional photos that we had were, like, as people on Twitter like to say, like, Mom Chen, Dadford, and, like, Tamara being the found family, like, trope. Well, then, like, why was the promo all about Balin and Jason, aka, you know, Bailey and John, in case you know haven't actually caught on to that we've made ship names for them. Not that I mind, like, either or. I just was, like, expecting Tamara to be seen in the promo, or because I literally, that's just what I thought it was going to be about Tamara and whatever her connection is to the one kid or kids, I guess. Especially since I think the episode description mentioned it.
Yeah,
too.
I'm pulling up the episode description now. So it says the team must rely on a criminal for his expertise to take down an even bigger threat. Meanwhile, officers Chen and Bradford investigate the murder of an unhoused teenager who used to be friends with Tamara. Yeah, it doesn't really talk about Bailey, John, and Jason.
Of course, maybe he's the bigger threat that they weren't expecting.
It could be, because in the promo, it looks like him and John were, like, going head to head on, like, some, like, barrier thing.
Literally, yeah, like on the side of, or like on a mountaintop, or one of those hiking trails that Los Angeles is famous for.
To me, it also looks like you know, when they're doing construction on the highway and, like, they're blocking off, like, a lane or something, they put up, like, that wall. Yeah. It looks like that to me, and I was like, why?
Well, it did look like they were chasing him, like, through something, or like up, you know, somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
The whole thing looks like crazy. And just, as John, I think John stated it in the beginning of the promo, he's like, we're sitting here watching your ex-con current husband.
Mm-hmm.
So the divorce obviously isn't happening.
Yeah.
Yet, because it's still current husband. So.
I mean, in the promo for this current episode, like, I believe it featured a lot of Bailey and John, because it was, like, picking up right where it left off. But, like, I don't know. Then there was the plane crash, and then we got the sneak peek of Chenford. So, like, I'm okay if the promo is Bailey and John stuff, and then we get the sneak peek of Chenford. Like, I'm okay with that. But yeah, that's like fair. The pics featured, like, Aaron and Nyla and Chenford and Tamara and James and Nyla, but, like, we never saw any part of them in, you know, in the episode or in the promo. But then again, it is only, like, a 30-second thing, so you know. But yeah, the episode looks like it's gonna be, and it's titled Endgame, so I'm like, why is it gonna be titled Endgame? I just want to know,
like, good things for, like, Bailey and John, because they had a rough time this week.
Yeah, they did. Like, that cold open, my heart broke for Bailey and John, but also I was like, all right, there's more to the story, because how is she, like, doing with all of this? So yeah. SJ Main Muniz directed last night's episode, and she's directed some of our other favorite shows, so that was fun to see. She shared a post, like, detailing her experience on Instagram, and it was a picture of Chenford, like a behind the scenes picture, so that was really cool to see. I would suggest going and reading that. We've retweeted it on our Twitter as well. So and then also over, like, the holiday weekend, or, like, last week, Eric and Rosalind were going to Puerto Rico for the New Year's special that she hosted. And they posted some hilarious videos of their travel adventures and shenanigans. So I would go ahead and check out her Instagram for that because they're like gold.
It's so funny. Like, if you guys have listened to any of their podcasts at all, it's literally just like they could have just been like doing a podcast. It's the same dynamic they always have. It's just so funny.
And the videos just, they were like chronicling like their first travel day and then like after like a few hours like of the next day too. It's so funny. They lost their luggage. Eric was like, I'm tired of her. It was so good.
Yeah, it was so funny. And just like, but yeah, if you guys watched the ABC countdown, then you probably saw her live from Puerto Rico, which was fun. So, because Eric made a little surprise cameo appearance.
Yeah.
And that was fun as well to see. And they just both looked like they're just living their best life going
They definitely
into
were.
2022. So
Clearly our invite to Puerto Rico was lost. So it's fine.
I'm kind of bummed out about it because like Richard T. Jones, who plays Ray, was there as well.
Yes.
Not like, but just, different reasons or whatever, but they just, all happened to be at the same place. And so obviously Eric and Richard got a photo and that was fun.
Oh my God. The photo that Eric had posted with both of them, I was like, can we have the district, like the team, at a group outing or something, please?
So
with Gray.
fun. So fun. Yeah. But yeah. And their podcast, they dropped their like New Year's episode today as well. So be sure to go check that out. Super fun.
Yeah. So now we should just start with the episode because there was a lot.
Yeah, there was. Like Jennifer had mentioned, the cold open picked up literally like right where they left off in 409, which was just like majorly awkward for John. I mean, it was awkward all around, but just like I could feel the awkward, like just coming from John, and just like because he was just kind of like, oh, okay, you're her husband, not ex-husband, as in current husband. That's interesting. And just like because Bailey didn't know that Jason was like released out early for good behavior. Like he was supposed to be gone for another 2 years apparently. And just John was obviously very, very hurt by Bailey not telling him. Well, he mentions it later, not the fact that she is married, but just the fact that she didn't trust him enough to like be honest with him.
Yeah, especially because she knows that he was married before.
Yeah, I would think so.
So like,
yeah, because
I don't know, there's
open.
more.
Yeah, and then she was not, and so that was kind of where he was feeling like hurt and betrayed and all that. And so he doesn't really know where to go from there. I still was kind of surprised though that like Bailey was the one that ended up walking away from the restaurant and like left John there because he was like, wait. But at the same time though, I would be kind of shell shocked too because like I had said, like he was supposed to still be locked up, like because they don't keep in contact, Bailey and Jason, and so she would have had no idea that he was getting out. And so
so I have a question.
Yes, what is your question?
How did Jason know that Bailey was there? Or did he just like happen to go to that restaurant like coincidentally and run into her? Because it didn't look like he was that dressed up and like,
yeah, that's true.
By how Bailey and John were dressed up, and it looked like other people were. it looked like it was kind of a fancy-ish place, and like he just like runs into her and like walks by the table. I don't know. I was just like, okay,
Oh,
this
that's
is
true.
weird.
Hmm.
I don't know. He just
I
gave
don't
me
know.
very shady vibes from like the get-go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he did really, because Jason like is trying to kind of portray himself as this like changed person. Um, and but I don't know. I mean, I applaud Jenna's performance of Bailey in this episode, and obviously like Steve portraying Jason was cool to see as well. It was very interesting to see, since Steve and Jenna are like together in real life with a kid of their own, and then like they have like this, they're portraying this like couple in turmoil, and just like that was interesting to kind of see. I think Jenna actually put it on her Instagram story, like they were watching the episode together or something, and um it was the scene where he showed up at the firehouse and was like, we gonna give her the divorce papers or whatever. And Steve had like commented and was like, we're not even married. Like he and Jenna in real life. And I just thought that was funny. And not that I minded a look at the firehouse, but just like Bailey's coworker kind of felt a little awkward. Or just like a little bit of a last minute addition. But I don't know if it's just because like the last time we had a coworker with her on the show, it was Frank, and he's gone now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But it was nice. I guess, I mean, they needed a neutral ground for Jason to meet her at, where she felt safe.
And it was nice to see like her at work instead of just like talking about it. And then also, so like when they had the barbecue at Frank's house, like, or Fred's house. Yeah, Fred.
Why did I say Frank? My bad.
She had talked about like all of her coworkers, and all of them that were there from what we saw were guys. So it's like she's got a female coworker. I like that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, it's good to see. And like, I guess it made sense because Jason couldn't actually give her the divorce papers directly, so he gave them to Bailey's coworker, who handed them off. And I don't know, like I felt bad for Bailey throughout the whole entire episode. I felt bad, like, I don't know, like at the end of the episode when she was like, she felt really stupid, and like she should have known by like confronting him that it like Jason doesn't like being challenged. But like I should have really known based on the music change that Jason was going to retaliate.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't really think that he was going to plant drugs on her.
No.
I really like, I appreciated that they had a scene though with Bailey standing up for herself though, and like confronting Jason about it earlier and being like, I am a different person now, like, like don't push me, like she'll push back harder. And like I liked that she wanted to take a stand and like show him that she wasn't scared anymore, but just like, I don't know, I'm still like kind of not confused, but just like, because we also saw, so like she confronted him, right? And then later on in the episode, there's this scene where she kind of thinks that someone might be in her house, or in her apartment. But we don't actually see anyone. And so I didn't quite understand that scene. I mean, I get the end goal because they had the wedding album that was out. So like I'm assuming Jason's just not owning up to the fact that he was in her apartment, because
I swear I saw some movement in that bedroom that she had went into. So I don't know, maybe he was in there, maybe he wasn't. I don't know. It could have just
Well,
been
because
like curtains.
the wedding album though, it's like she probably would have kept that somewhere not special by any means, but
But
just
like
like
hidden.
away. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was all just very like I don't know. I just didn't quite understand it unless it was so he could like make a copy of her keys or something to get into her car. Like I don't know. I don't know how all that happened.
I know. I need to know more about this guy and how he's getting in her personal space like that, like with the
Yeah.
restaurant. How does he know that she's there? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, the
Well, because
house,
like
okay, well, I'm assuming that she like moved. So
I
like
would
how do you
think
even
so.
know her address? Like I
I don't
just need to
know.
know these things.
And just like this is gonna sound bad. Not that I wanted Bailey to be attacked because I did not, but just like that's what I was waiting for. Because when her car breaks down earlier in the episode,
You
and it
hear
kept,
something.
yeah, you hear something, and the camera, what's the word I'm looking for? It kept like focusing,
Hmm.
on the background, like
Yeah.
behind her. And
Well,
so
and
I
the
was
music
sitting
changed.
there, yeah, and I was sitting there waiting for someone to just like pop out and like attack her or something.
Hmm.
But
Well, I
then,
thought when she got on the phone with John, I was like, this isn't gonna go well. Like she's
no,
gonna be attacked or something, and he's gonna be on the other end of the line.
yeah.
And then she never like told him that like her car was broke down or
Mhm.
nothing. I was like, wait, okay, we're setting it up for her to be like attacked, aren't we?
Yeah.
And it just didn't happen.
Course, I mean, we found out earlier in the episode too that like Jason hadn't been like violent towards Bailey. It was, I mean, it was still like emotional abuse and like probably, like mental, like, effects on her mental health and all that, and probably psychological, I'm assuming too.
But it also
Um,
seems like she's like afraid of him. Like she's
yeah,
always
oh,
like, on guard.
yeah,
So I'm just like, did he do something else and she's just not ready to face that yet? Because even when she like walked into her house, I noticed there was that baseball bat like right by the front door. And
that's
I
true.
tweeted about it. I was like, okay, why does she keep that there? Is it
Right.
just because she's a firefighter and was in the army? Like she knows that, she has to be prepared? Or
Yeah,
is it like for other reasons? Like, just don't know.
yeah. So I don't know. Um, And so obviously throughout the episode, these like the whole nice guy act that Jason put on was not had finally fallen apart and just like and yeah, because he wasn't I know you'll get into Oscar later, but he had mentioned that like Jason was like manipulative but not violent. And so I don't I don't know if the whole like Bailey being attacked thing would like have made sense, but then at the same time that's just where I thought it was going.
Mhm.
Where I thought it was going. Um, Again, I was just not expecting the planting of the drugs in the car. Um, but I should have known that he was gonna do something because the music changed and he like it's the camera stayed on his face like as Bailey walked away it stayed on Jason's face and he was like kind of I don't know like clenching his jaw or whatever like I don't know like
Yeah.
pondering her uh statement of, stay the hell
Well,
away from
even
me.
like when she had said, I stood up to him, I'm like, okay, this is like a huge moment for her. Maybe she just didn't do it before, but like, why did she say she stood up to him and then he just retaliates? Like, I don't know. I need to know more
Yeah.
about this whole situation.
Yeah. Which hopefully we get in next week's episode. Although I would like for Bailey to just like stick by John. Um, it was nice to see John like stand by Bailey
Hmm.
in this episode. He eventually came around um, because he showed up for her at the I don't really know what it is, like the holding cell, like bay area
Yeah.
of it. and still like it's kind of John's thing to like want to fix things as soon as he can. Um and while I liked the last scene that we got for them of them like actually talking face to face, because they were brief, like Bailey tried to talk to him earlier. He wasn't having that exactly. But I kind of wish we'd had them talk longer face to face,
Mm-hmm.
or instead of like the phone conversation, have like that be face to face because Bailey was so upset. She was having a day. She was like crying. I felt bad for her. I also feel bad that she had to spend a night or a day or two in jail.
Yeah.
With the amount of cocaine I guess that was found on her. Um, I don't know. I appreciated the sentiment that John was like, he still loves her. And he's still, gonna do whatever he can to help her. I just want to know how he gets her out though, because obviously next week we see Bailey with John and they're like surveying Jason. So obviously he helps get her out on bail, maybe, but just like how?
That or maybe like because she's another first responder. I don't
Maybe.
know. I don't know how it works with all that. I would think
Yeah.
that like just because she is a first responder and so is he, like that doesn't just automatically get them off, but I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah. And I liked that, not surprisingly, but just like out of all the people that kind of understood like why Bailey didn't originally tell John, it was kind of like Nyla kind of understood why she didn't tell John initially about Jason. And I liked that it was just, like Nyla was supporting John. Because I know in like previous episodes we've seen John be there for her when she was like having issues with like Lila and like Donovan and the whole custody thing. So it was kind of nice that Nyla was like listening to him. I mean, because who would want to reveal that they're married to like an emotional abuser, essentially?
Right.
So
I
like,
could see why Bailey hit it, but it's also like she knows that John was previously married. I mean, even if she didn't say, oh yeah, he was like an emotional abuser, even if she just said like he was married, but then also knowing John, he would have more questions. So I could
that
see
is
why she would
so true. I was just
not
gonna
tell
say
him.
that. Yeah. Cause
And
yeah,
also
I mean,
maybe
'cause
she didn't think that it was getting as serious as John thought it was.
maybe that's true. Yeah. I just yeah, because it's still very, very quick to propose or
Mhm.
think about proposing in like 3 months. Um, yeah, I think that was kind of all I had. Or well, no, okay, so you know what though? Like Jason wasn't even charged for like major drug possession or something. Like it
No,
wasn't like a major violent offense that he was charged with. So like why drugs? Like why? Why? Wasn't he charged with like embezzlement or some like fraud money
yeah.
thing? So
And
like
also, how did the
why?
cops know that it was Bailey that had it? I
I
mean,
don't know.
he's just like doing it to himself. Like he's turning himself in pretty much. I mean,
Yeah,
like
well, because
he's
it's like,
hinting the
what
cops.
cop friends does he know?
Right.
Like,
It
and just
just
like,
like
what?
felt like out of left field.
It really did.
Not, I mean, kind of the storyline, but like we also knew that Bailey was probably hiding something. But like just the way that Jason went about things felt out of left field.
Yeah, it was just like, it was almost just like it kept like stacking the deck
Yeah.
and just like kept going and going and building and building. And so that's why I was waiting for, as bad as it sounds, I was kind of waiting for someone to get hit over the head or something. I don't know why. Maybe because I
Well,
watched too many Lifetime movies, but it's kind of where I thought it was heading.
well, and it was also like, okay, we've had this big revelation, like nothing else can top it, right? And then it was like, boom, like another ball is dropping. And it was just like, wait, what is going on?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so like in the cold open, when Jason told John after she walked away, he was like, my wife deserves the best. Did you kind of like chuckle?
I did. Yeah, I did, because I was just like,
And John's just like standing there.
yeah, because there's
Crickets.
so many things. Yeah, exactly. Because it's like there are a couple things you can mean by that, is literally like John's not the best and he is, or he was trying to sound sincere, but now that we know who he is not like a person now, it's just like that was not sincere or genuine at all. So
Well, and like he knew that Bailey wanted a divorce, and like she
right.
had said that. So why are
And
you
they'd
saying
gone
my
back and
wife?
forth for years. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, are you just saying my wife to like hint it back to John that like she's mine?
Yeah,
Or
I
to
can
make
see it.
John just make him like make himself feel like, I don't know, less than? I don't
Yeah.
know. It was just weird.
Either sounds like crummy things to do, which
Yeah.
now that we know who Jason is, it kind of doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Like, I was surprised, kind of surprised that well, when he was putting on the nice guy act, was like, he had the divorce papers in his hand. He was like ready to go. And I was just like, that seems too easy. We have like 40 minutes left. Something else is going to happen.
Yep.
But I don't know. As you had tweeted out yesterday, let Bailey be happy was the nice hashtag, I thought, because that's what we all want. I mean, because like I said, I'm surprised by how much I like John and Bailey. I want them to be happy, and for God's sake, go on a normal date,
Right?
like just one. I think
Like
even
they
in the preview, he had said like, this is not a normal date, or like,
yeah, in the promo for next week.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, surveying her should be ex-husband who's also an ex-con. Yeah, not
The
normal.
man is a whole jinx in and of himself though.
Like literally, Nyla was so right when she said that
She
in
literally
this
dropped to the
episode.
facts. She was
Yeah.
like, let me just spill the tea here for you. Oh my
Mhm.
God. Yeah, she was like a whole mood then. I
Yeah.
mean, he is. He's a whole jinx, personal and professionally. A whole
Yep.
jinx.
Yeah. So
I mean,
that
we
was,
love him, but
yeah.
jinx.
Yeah. Speaking of, I believe it is plane crash time, which brings us into everything
Yeah.
John and Nyla.
Yeah. The plane crash is like the big storyline of the
Mhm.
episode, I felt like. But yeah, so Chenford sees the plane going down as they're making an arrest. And Nyla and John, they drive up, they see a big cloud of smoke, and the call is coming over the radio. I don't know. I liked how it was slow motion as John and Nyla got out of the car and like the music like ramped up.
Mhm.
And it was just like them assessing the situation. I don't know. I just thought it was like a cool like feature to do.
Yeah. I thought it was cool how like Chenford, like it's like saw the plane going down, but it like stayed up
Yeah.
so we could actually see it like kind of start to go lower and
Yeah.
lower.
And so then Tim and Lucy roll up and uh like they go over to the plane. There's no pilot there. And I just love when Lucy's all sassy and she's like, well, that explains why it crashed.
Oh, I
And
didn't even hear that. Oh my gosh.
yeah. And so then Nyla's like, well, I'll start looking for prints. And John opens up a bag like in the plane. And his face is just an entire memeable expression. And then he's just like, guys, we've got gold. I'm like, okay, well, where does this come from? I was expecting it to be like money, like it was like robbed from a bank, but
Mhm.
I was not expecting gold.
No, not either.
So then, like, I loved how excited and fangirlish Lucy was when she like realizes that it's Levi Lincoln, who's a millionaire that killed his wife, and like, uh, that he was flying the plane. And so then, like, I also noticed her head tilt to Nyla when Nyla's like, "Yeah, well, that's helpful because we're in LA." Um, it wasn't like focused on Lucy, but you could kind of see her in the side of this shot. And so then we find out that Levi Lincoln is an inmate at a maximum security prison who broke out of the facility with a plane full of gold. And I was like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, you know, how is he getting out of that maximum security prison? So then Tim comes back and he says that Levi is actually still there. And so something's just not adding up to the officers. And my mind automatically just went to Oscar because we know he's in this episode. And I mean, it's a big crime. Like he's got something to do with it.
I
So
still literally thought he was flying the freaking plane. So that's why when they said,
I thought that it would just be hilarious that he did. Like, yeah. So then, you know, Levi's prints are on the plane and, you know, John and Nyla are getting buzzed into the prison. And Nyla's, her just sass and her bluntness, just everything about her, like, I love it. And she just, like, matter-of-factly says, like, I hate this prison. And just her, like, pessimistic view on things, too. Like, it's so good because John is the optimist and she's the pessimistic. Like, their dynamic.
Literally, they're like, obviously they're not a ship. No one come for me when I say this, but literally
No.
it's like Sunshine Grumpy. Like they're the literal embodiment.
Yeah. Literal embodiment of a friendship that's like that.
Yeah.
So then John's just like, okay, well, there's more that I still don't know about my partner. And we find out that like she doesn't hate prisons that she hasn't almost died in. At this point, I was like, wait a minute, what?
That was, well, okay, see, I don't know. Someone else would have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that was a callback to, oh shoot, what is wrong with me?
Like 204 or something?
Like 218?
Okay.
No, 18, I think. When they went to the prison,
oh yeah, and there was that
with the juveniles and they
and the prison like riot.
Broke out in a riot. Yeah. I think. I don't
yeah, but
know
I still
for
feel
sure,
like
though.
there's more behind that.
Yeah.
Like what? Because we know she's been undercover too, and she would like be arrested.
Fair.
So I don't know, but I need to know more about Nyla Harper. And so then John's like, well, at least we're not here to see Oscar. And Nyla just asks why he's always jinxing them. And like I said earlier, it's not just them in their partnership, it's literally his personal life too. Like the dynamic that these two have is just chef's kiss. Like that's how I can explain it. Because it's too good. So then the doors open and you know they're talking to Levi, or so they think. And you know he's like, that sounds like that's a you problem, and Nyla's just not putting up with it. She's like, I'm cutting right to the chase.
So much when he said that. I was just like, I think that's a you problem. Like, sir, do you know who you're talking to right now?
And he said that to John. It wasn't to Nyla.
I know that's true though, but I was just surprised like that. Nyla, yeah, I mean, because she looks so done with the situation.
Yeah, she's like, I have every right to inspect you. And so she like sits him down, and I don't know, I had to like, I caught this last night, and then like as I was rewatching the episode, I had to rewind. And I was like, is she grabbing him by his ear?
Please, that's what I thought too. I was like, girl, you were
down?
Yeah, I was like, what is happening?
I mean, I know that like some cops can get like handsy or like, you know, not rough, but like, I don't know, a little bit like that, I guess. But I just wasn't expecting that. I was like, okay. I mean, all right. He wasn't like resisting.
No.
It didn't seem like it. I don't know. I feel like that's also just like her sassy way. But then like she finds that he's like a plastic surgery scar on him, like on his forehead. And I was just like, wait, what? How does that make sense? I don't know. But I just kind of like brushed over that because I was like, well, this clearly is not the guy that they're supposedly looking for. So then like we find out that Levi paid this guy $5 million up front and $5 million upon the completion of the sentence.
My jaw was like dropped. I was just like I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. So then Nyla's like, yeah, no, there's someone else who helped them pull this off. Like, there has to be. So the inmate is like, I'm not saying another word because then I'll be dead. So they get outside of the cell and John's just like, do you think it was the garden, the guards, or the warden, or both? And he just like poses the question indirectly of working with Oscar, and Nyla's like, hard pass. Um, but John like reminds her that it's Oscar's prison and he's been helpful in the past. He is helpful, but like he does it for his own gain.
Right.
And so then Nyla's like, this is because you jinxed us. I mean, she's not wrong. So then they meet with Oscar like later in the episode, and he just like blurts out, he's like, it's my favorite law enforcement officers. I mean, that's so true of Oscar to say that, but like also same. Same. Yeah, so then John's just like, well, this isn't about you. And Oscar just like seems hurt by it, and he's like, you're seeing other cops or other criminals? And yeah, they are. Like it doesn't revolve around you. So then like we find out why Oscar is all beaten up and has his arm in a sling. And it's because he snitched on an inmate who is in the prison for life, and like everyone turned on him apparently. So now he's like in solitary or like what is it? I have it written down. I am losing my train of thought right now. Protective custody. There we go. So, okay. I was thinking about this as I was rewatching the episode today. I was like, so who has Oscar worked with or came across? Wesley and Angela. He was arrested by Jackson. Has he worked with Chenford yet? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
I feel like the last or the last season when they like went up to his doorstep or whatever and told him about his daughter, because like Angela was pregnant and she was like, he stabbed my husband and I'm pregnant. So, but I think that was
true.
John and Nyla anyway.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
don't-
can remember that. Yeah, that was them. I don't think Chenford has worked with Oscar.
No, but they need to, because I could just see Tim like ripping him a new one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then Oscar knows Lincoln and he knows some things about him, but obviously it'll cost John and Nyla, because of course it would. Like nothing's ever easy with him. So then he's like, I want out of prison in exchange for everything I know. And, apparently like because he pissed off the wrong person, now he's looking at spending the rest of his life in protective custody. Which means no one to talk to. So he's like concerned for his sanity. And Nyla's just like, I know exactly what you want, a prison transfer, which includes a letter of support from a cop. So Nolan doesn't even have to like be asked to the question of will he do it? He's just like, I'll do it. And then Oscar's like, didn't you like get arrested yourself because you were accused of killing a cop? Like he just brings up the Armstrong situation and no one's like, I was exonerated for that. And that. Like, please. Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I love the parallels to like season 2, season 3, mostly season 2 that this show has brought up lately in this season. It's so good. So then she reluctant, like, the only option in this situation is Nyla. She reluctantly agrees to it. And, he's like, here, you can send it to this person. But she like pulls the paper out of his book and she takes it and she just like looks back at him like suspiciously. She comes back in with the letter and like, reads part of it. And she's like, oh, well, I sent it to, or I faxed it off to our district, not your lawyer. And, but like she wants to find out the prison personnel that Levi paid off to pull off this situation. And it turns out that it was a warden and 4 guards that he paid off. So then, like they've got what they need from him. So then later in the episode, Tim tells Gray that they've got, several 911 calls about a man parachuting by Echo Park. And by the time that the police got there, he was gone. Okay. I noticed that Lucy is just watching Tim so intently while he
I
tells,
missed that too.
like, she's just watching him, and her side profile, like watching him, like the kind of faint smile on her face that you could kind of see. I was just like mesmerized by it. I don't know. I just love how Melissa and Eric put like everything they've got into these characters. I mean, the entire cast does, but it's Melissa and Eric's like micro expressions and just like the way, like the body language that isn't scripted that they like give off. It's just, again, chef's kiss.
Yeah. Well, because it also reminds me of like the promo photos for next week's episode. Like I know I had done like what normal fans see versus what Chenford fans see, and it was just like Tim looking at Lucy like while she was just like talking to Tamara, but I don't know if that was just like intently listening.
See, and I noticed that with other ships too, and like it's good. It's just they just feed crumbs. Like, and I remember other ships, the actors of other ships saying like, well, it's not really scripted, but we find ways to put it in and like to bring in some of what these characters would do like anyway into the script. And so I just feel like that's kind of what Eric and Melissa do.
Yeah. Of course, I don't even know if they probably realize that they're doing it because Eric didn't really realize that like their movements are like the same all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So then Angela comes over to them in a leopard print blazer.
I want it so much.
To which I just have to say, okay, go off, queen. Like, she just pulled off that entire look. The straight hair, the blazer, the graphic tee. I was like, okay, I love it. And she says that she tracked the Cessna's path, and it took off from Sonoma, which is home to one of Levi's many estates. Then, like, local police found the backyard all dug up, and they're deducing that that's where he got the gold. So then Lucy's like, she's so smart. She's like, well, he still needs money. So if he hid the gold bricks in his vacation home, then what else is he hiding and where? So Chenford pays a visit to the LA home. And I loved Lucy's line of the rich. They live just like us. It was kind of like, I don't know, like optimistic in a way. I don't know. It was just like a little sassy, I guess. And it just reminded me of like a feature that trashy magazines do. And they say the stars are just like us. Like, and it's pictures of them going to the grocery store or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. I loved it. So then they get to the LA house. The housekeeper opens up and at first says that Levi's not there. Like, she's taking care of the home. But then they hear yelling. And so she's like, she's in the backyard with the guy. And so they go and then, they see a gun to the guy's head and a shootout happens. But Levi escapes on a motorcycle. And so then like towards the end part of the episode, we find out that there was no movement on Levi Lincoln over the past 24 hours. So John just reminds them that like there is one rich friend that they aren't watching, and that's Lincoln's double. So they get a call and Levi forced his way into the shop home and forced her to send him money wire of $4 million to a Cayman Islands account. So basically he's fleeing the country. And then, they're like, well, he wouldn't use a commercial plane to do that. So he's using a private airfield. And so then John and Nyla arrive on the scene, and he starts shooting, running into the airplane hangar. And after more shots are being fired, like he tries to escape out the side entrance, but is met with Chenford and their guns drawn. And Tim's hi sends me. It reminds me of Angela's hey, how's it going? Or something from the pilot episode. She's like looking up.
Yeah. That was I think the Rookie Rewatch. Did I say that right? Yeah. Account tweeted it that was the like behind the scenes moment where Eric and Melissa just like couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah.
So that was fun because like Lucy, I swear to God, she was like standing up like on the
Like on the door jamb of the car or something.
yeah, or like whatever to make herself seem taller. Obviously,
I don't know.
she
That
could,
was
get
like
shot around.
that was like my new favorite moment of theirs on duty.
I know it was
Like it
so
was
quick
just
though. I have to go
badass.
back and rewatch. It was so
Yeah.
good.
Like it was just badass. So,
Good.
but yeah, they ended up taking down Levi Lincoln, and that was about it for the plane crash.
Mhm.
Oscar was involved, but not in the way that we thought. It's a bummer, but it would have been good.
Yeah, I still. Oh my gosh, it was. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of. It would be funny if somehow he could just like keep helping them out with
Mhm.
their cases, but then he would get so many free favors.
Yeah.
So wouldn't really be worth it, but it's just so funny. Like he just
Mhm.
brings uh much needed comedy to the show.
Yeah, definitely.
So okay, now we have Wesley and James, which was like the duo that I never knew that I needed.
The duo that no one never knew that they ever needed.
Yep, exactly. Because it's just so crazy to me how they just like casually run into each other. Because like James is walking into the station as Wesley's walking out. Um, and like as they're kind of in passing, like James happens to ask Wesley if he can represent this kid that he knows named Tyler Stent. Wesley says that he can't because of his unfortunate suspension. Sad face. He's oh my god, poor Wesley. Um, so he's just like, James is like sorry about that happened to him. So he's like, so then what are you gonna do now? And he's like, Wesley's just like ready to be done for the day, and like his next order of business is to go find a bar to go drink at. Um, and James tells him to text him and like not drink alone. Wesley says that he'll take him up on that offer, which apparently he does because their next scene is the two of them coming back to like Wesley and Angela's house, uh, drunk as can be and being like
Mhm.
total dorks and just like they want to order pizza and garlic knots and they're just gonna sit like and be
I
chill.
mean, where was our invite to that night too?
So funny. And just like, yeah, I don't, oh my God. It's just so funny because, like I said, I didn't know that I needed this duo for one, but then, like, this duo, uh, drunk was like just extra, just extra, but in the best way
Yes.
possible. Um, and just like, they like stumble in, and James is like, your husband can't hold his liquor. And Wesley's like, I'm fine.
Yep.
And just like, I swear to God, they're just like practically holding hands. It was just so funny. Like, I see a total bromance happening, and just like, but of course, it's not, like Angela like lets James stay over for dinner, which is why they're gonna order pizza and all that. But they're also gonna talk um like policies and plea deals, and don't get Wesley started on plea deals, but James kind of cuts him off and is like he could come help him at the community center since people go in there all the time asking like different legal questions. And
Mhm.
so that's how Wesley gets involved with the case that Lucy was working earlier. Um because the kid that James had mentioned in passing in the first scene that they had together was Tyler, and Tyler was a kid that Lucy signed out on a JCR, which I looked it up because I am who I am. And um at least by the definition of like the San Diego Police Department, it says it's like a juvenile contact report. So it's I'm assuming like just information on like who the kid is, like where they would be and like why they're getting out.
Yeah.
Um And so that kind of meant that he would get to go home tonight instead of spending the night in a jail cell. And Chenford had arrested him earlier for like trying to deal drugs, sell drugs, something of that nature, with substances. And so like so Lucy had signed him out, so like he got to go like be free essentially.
Mhm.
And so he met, somehow James got him to the community center. Wesley was there as well, and they were trying to like get like kind of get a plan in motion, to like get Tyler a job so he could pay back the money he owed for the drugs that were lost when he got busted. And like he was like, you have to lay low, you can't be on your phone, you can't tell people like where you're gonna go and all this. But then Curtis, who I'm assuming is Tyler's like boss or like
Mhm.
higher up in the drug game, came in and was like, he needs to pay up by tomorrow. And that, I mean, that made Tyler understandably nervous. While I appreciate that it's in Wesley's nature to stand up for the little guy, I'm over here like, dude, you literally just got your license like taken away.
Right?
Why are you already going toe to toe with drug dealers? Like, why? Why? But it was nice that, like, I don't know, like Wesley and James make a good team, and I feel like they could really do good for that community center.
Mhm. I hope
If
to
they
see more of
maybe,
them.
yeah, if they maybe quit going toe to toe with like all these shady characters, though.
But they both have significant others who are cops, so
So
it
true.
helped them out.
So true. There you go. Problem solved. Um,
As if Wesley has not came in contact and been hurt before by criminals.
I know.
The
I don't like
bat,
to think about it though. I don't like
the
to think about
stab
it.
wounds.
Do you mind? That is too much.
Like, do you might want to think this through a little bit better.
Eh. I mean, I don't know. I just like,
He's passionate though.
I enjoy that he's passionate. And I feel like he and James have that in common.
Okay, so I'm looking at promo photos and the description for next week's episode.
Okay.
Wesley's shirt with that jacket was white, right? With like polka dots, kind of. He's wearing that in 411 too. So I'm wondering if 411's got to pick up like right where 410 left off.
Interesting.
Because Wesley is definitely in the same clothes, meeting with Bailey and Nolan. And then like we obviously know what's going on with Jason and Nolan. And the episode description says, okay, wait. I want to go back and see if that Curtis is who Aaron and Nyla are meeting with. I don't think so, but he did look familiar to me. Because Curtis is in next week's episode, but I don't think that that's who they're meeting with. I'm going to look and find out.
I don't believe so, but I don't know 100%.
Because I mean, the storylines connect in the Rookie, like they always do. So I want to find out. Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, and this is also like the case that Wesley was involved in is where Lucy met the newest ADA named Chris. Yes. What?
Okay. The guy that Nyla and Aaron are meeting with in the promo photos, like in that fancy looking apartment, that is Curtis. So
What?
yeah. So Nyla's getting involved in this Curtis case. Nyla and Aaron.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
It'll be interesting, that's for sure.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I'm
Okay.
I'm back.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so yeah, so Lucy had met Chris, and he's fresh out of law school essentially. It's only like 4 months on the job, and yet he was trying to tell her how to do hers. Like, um, one, rude, two, no. And three, like just go away from like Sunshine Lucy Chen. Okay, thanks. Bye. Like, I was so not here for it. Like, I I don't know. I mean, I appreciated the fact that she like had a comeback ready though and was like,
Yeah.
come back here in a year and a half and then tell me. Like, yes, queen, go off. Like, I was glad that she put him in his place because he was being a jerk. Like, worse than like Pilot Tim was to her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
But,
like that.
but she stood up for herself this time
Hmm.
and
She
didn't
did.
take any BS. And I loved that.
You know, I mean, because I know I had mentioned this earlier, like before we started recording, but like I was not one of the people that immediately jumped on the, oh my gosh, she could be a potential love interest for Lucy.
Hmm.
I don't want it to happen. I'm still not on that train. I mean, sure, he's attractive, but he was a complete asshat to her. Like, I was not, I still just don't see, I mean, yeah, sure, they would be a pretty, like, pair, for maybe like a one-time thing, but just like, I can't see it. I just can't see it. Because his second interaction with Lucy didn't go any better because he essentially blamed her for Tyler's arrest because he got, even though Lucy signed him out originally, he ended up robbing a woman at a store and she had a heart attack. So if she dies, he could be indicted on manslaughter charges.
Hmm.
But sure, it's Lucy's fault for actually, gosh, gee, I don't know, giving him another chance, the benefit of the doubt. Like, I just, oh my gosh, because like Lucy had told Chris earlier, she was like his first offense, like the drugs, was like a non-violent one, so she had no reason to suspect that like he would do anything, and just so it's like I just did not like this whole thing for Lucy. Like, it's not her fault,
Yeah.
and I don't appreciate this Chris person just coming in because like here I thought the second interaction he was actually gonna apologize, but no, he did not apologize. He just made it so much worse, and just like, yeah, I don't know, because there are like, I mean, in psychology there's like predictors or like predicting factors for things, you know, like there are warning signs all the time, but just you can't always catch everything. And just like I said, I don't think it's Lucy's fault. I don't appreciate that Chris just came, like, waltzed in and just like bothered her again. Like, I just, yeah, I didn't like the whole thing for her. I felt bad for Tyler when he was like being brought out like for transport, I assume.
Yeah.
And he had like talked to, and he had seen Lucy and talked to like Wesley and James a little bit. And just like, because he had panicked and like his nerves got the better of him. But he is a kid. Like,
Mhm.
your brain's not even fully, like formed and properly developed till you're like mid 20s. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, he was just a kid. He panicked. He wanted to get the money so he could, pay off Curtis quickly. Um and yeah, I mean, I felt bad for the kid. And so definitely if it does come back in next week's episode, at least the Curtis part, I will be interested to see if like Lucy's involved at all too.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, I wonder if she's involved with all of the Tamara stuff and that kid that Tamara is with, who we see Tim arresting in the promo photos. Yeah. It'll be interesting. Because I feel like when she saw Tyler getting arrested, that it did hit her a little bit.
Mhm.
And I feel like it's just gonna, like, that case is gonna hit close to home with her.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. So then we have Chenford / Tim and Ashley. And oh my god, the episode like after the cold open started off with this, and I mean, I tweeted at one point last night. I was like, it's 25 minutes in, and like I'm still not over that because it was just too good. Tim is making breakfast in a gray jacket and black shirt, might I add. His kitchen is extremely nice. Um, and yeah, it's a great house that he's living in. But then Ashley's like, I'm not really a breakfast person. And she comes out like putting on her jacket, and Tim's reaction is hilarious. He's just like, yeah, no, this is for Kojo. Excuse me. And because she's kind of like blocking the way for him to like, go over to Kojo's bowl. And Tim's like, you kind of need to move. Like, I have to give this to my dog. And so then I don't know, like during the scene, I was just like on the ground. So like I didn't know what to focus on. His house, him, the fact that he's making a special breakfast for Kojo, like Ashley coming out. I don't know. I was just like, wait, there's too much to focus on. Like my brain cannot process all of this. So then Ashley's like salmon and eggs for a dog, and Tim's just like, he's just a proud, dedicated dog dad. And he's just like, well, I don't make it every day, but he has to watch his cholesterol. And so Kojo comes over. We see Dog Dad Tim in action. Like he starts praising him. He's like petting him. I mean, it's just at this point, I'm just a puddle of feelings. And so then Kojo like stops barking, like because Ashley like inches closer. Tim's like setting the alarm on the house and everything. And so Ashley's like getting ready to leave. And Kojo stops eating and starts barking at Ashley. And she's like physically jumping at his barks. Like, well, he is like a bigger dog, so his barks do come off as like louder. So I mean, I would jump too, especially when like those barks did seem like harsh, mean kind of. But I mean, he's not like a mean dog. So then like she's like physically jumping, and she's like, how long have you had Kojo? We find out that Tim's had him for a year, and he was just like, he was Lucy's dog, but she couldn't keep him. So Kojo doesn't let up on the barking, and Tim's just like, it's probably just because he's not used to you being here. And so then he's like, well, maybe you should put your hand out, like to show him that you're friendly. And she's like, maybe another day because the alarm's gonna set. And so yeah. So okay, one, we know she slept over, right? Because it's safe to assume that's why she's there. And so then again, it's safe to assume that they did that. Second of all, you're gonna hate me because when I was rewatching this, I totally thought of it. I don't know why I didn't think of it last night. But when Lucy stayed over in 401, they definitely had a family moment. Like with the dog, they probably
Aww.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because Lucy stayed over. Well, of course they had to go rather quickly because they got that call or whatever to go.
Yeah.
Like,
But
that
like
they knew what it was. But still, yeah.
I'm choosing to believe that she like was over there, like quite a while before they decided to like get ready for bed. And yeah, I like spiraled myself into a breakdown today when I was like filling this out. So then yeah, I don't know. I'm also surprised that Lucy like hasn't taken back Kojo yet. I mean, not that like Kojo is like, like an inanimate object to where they can just like pass him from person to person. Like he's not.
Yeah.
But I'm honestly surprised that she hasn't like taken him back because Jackson didn't really like Kojo. And like Lucy got Kojo to like help her deal with the kidnapping from season 2. And I would think she would want him for like emotional support after Jackson passed.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, of course, Kojo could remind her of Jackson, but
That's true.
she would still go over. I mean, because I'm choosing to believe that Lucy still interacts with Kojo, obviously.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't know. Then I was thinking, like, well, maybe Tamara doesn't like him, or like he's just very weary around people that like he doesn't know, and he doesn't know Tamara, but I don't know. That or like Lucy's place isn't big enough for Kojo, something. I don't know. I was just like, why hasn't she taken him back yet? Or like, why didn't she offer to take him? so that like Ashley didn't feel uncomfortable. I don't know. It was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was also just like overthinking it. But then I don't know. It would also make sense for Kojo to go back with Lucy because like Tamara's there and she could like take him out on walks and like play with him and let him, go out. Because Tim was like, Trisha will be here in an hour or whatever for your walk. Okay, well, Tamara could easily go over to Tim's too to take Kojo on a walk. I mean, she's in school, obviously, but like she's in college and those classes are a little bit more broken up sometimes than like high school.
So
Like,
true.
why can't she go over there? What like why does this Trisha person need to go over to Tim's house? It just doesn't make any sense. So then the next time we see Tim, like he's driving the shop with Lucy. This was the sneak peek that we were all freaking out over on New Year's Eve because that's when they dropped it. And she's like, how's it going with Ashley? So she knows that they're dating. She knows that they're sleeping with each other at this point. She found out in 408 that he was seeing someone.
I don't
So
like the fact that she knows that they're sleeping together, though. Can we just pretend that you didn't say that?
I mean, I would assume that she would. I don't know if
I
she
would
did
assume
before
so.
this, but like when he was like, yeah, there was some weirdness this morning. I mean,
True.
I don't know. It
Because then
just,
that implies that she
yeah.
stayed over.
Um,
Fine.
but then like, so she found out in 408 and it's 410. So I don't know how much time has went by in the rookie like universe, but I need to know like,
I mean, I would assume like it's like to current times because like I remember Wesley's Christmas lights or Christmas tree or something was still up, and like
yeah,
the district still had a few lingering Christmas decorations. I don't know if
yeah,
it's like current times, maybe a couple weeks.
I don't know. But like, I just need to know, do they talk about her a lot? Who initiates the conversations? Like, is it Lucy that's mainly asking how they're doing? I
Yeah.
just need to know.
Especially since like Tim, when he was with Rachel, was like, "This might be surprising, but we don't actually talk about you
Yeah.
ever."
Yeah. So then, he's like, well, there was weirdness, this morning, and he thinks that she doesn't like Kojo. And so then right away, like proud and protective dog mom Lucy steps in and she's like, well, then you need to break up with her. And she claims that she liked or likes Ashley, but then Tim's like, that's BS because you gave me grief that she's a lifeguard. And she's like, well, I just don't consider it a career. And then Tim's also like, the last time that we talked about it, you know, you, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, I need to know how often they talk about this. Like, and also they feel comfortable talking about it with the body cams on. Like, again, this is just, I really like overthink this. But then, yeah, I don't know. I want to know how long like she's actually known that like him and Ashley have been dating. So then Lucy's like, well, if she doesn't like Kojo, like she's got to go. And to which I have to say, Lucy, please be more obvious that you're jealous. Like you could not hide that. Um, so then like when she also says destroyer of chew toys, the way that she says it just like radiates proud dog mom moments. Like I know that she brings over a new chew toy for Kojo, like every few days plays with him, like taking him on walks, and then Tim just like watches them with a smile on his face and just like gives that lingering like lovingly look. And I know that that happens. So yeah, it's canon for me in my head. Like it's fine. So then like Ashley later on in the episode calls Lucy and she just wants to know like what's up with Kojo. I'm like, why did she give him to Tim and all of that. So then she like questions if he was aggressive or, just like a bad dog. And Lucy's like, no, it was just the living situation wasn't right, but Kojo's the sweetest. And then she asks Lucy point blank if she doesn't like dogs. I mean, now Lucy is just like, she's making it even more obvious. So then Ashley's like, well, I just had a bad experience once when I was a kid. So then we get a parallel to season 2, episode 13. And I didn't know this at the time, just because I was like so much in my Chenford feels. But Lucy described Kojo as being like Tim while looking at Tim, saying he's big, gruff, a whole lot of bark, but underneath all of it, he's a sweetheart. And it's the parallel to when she was talking to Rachel about Tim in 213. So then
203.
Oh, 203. Sorry. So then
Well, so 2. No, 203. That was a bet. Yeah, 203.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, wait, 213 was like after the kidnapping. So then Lucy like tells Ashley she should tell him like how she feels. And Lucy's just like, yeah, hard pass because you don't come between a guy and his dog. So then like, I don't know. I caught it like on my second rewatch. She just like hangs up. Like Lucy's like caught off guard and Ashley's like, yeah, I gotta go. And just like hangs up. Like no bye, nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's a little weird, but whatever. So then Lucy catches up to Tim in the parking garage, and that's after their shift, and she tells him that he needs to listen to Ashley because she doesn't want to hear him mope on shift about like screwing this up. And so Lucy's just like walking away, and Tim's like, I don't mope, I don't even know how to do that. And Lucy's just like, yeah, okay, sure.
Yep. I appreciated Tim's question of like, well, and you care so much about my love life because
yeah.
Like, hello.
Also, like Chenford does parking garage scenes like no other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not really any other ship that does parking garage scenes, but if there was, Chenford would be superior in it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other ships that I watch at least that do those scenes. So then, at the end of the episode, we close it out, and Tim wants Ashley to feel as comfortable at his place as she feels at home. I mean, one, that's not necessarily going to happen because, like, you are in someone else's house. And if you're, like, just starting to date them, like, it is weird. It's weird to, like, be in someone else's, like, personal space like that. But then, like, he hands her a canister of treats, and Kojo, like, doesn't listen. Like, she holds one up, tells him to, like, lay down or whatever. And she's really nice about it. And then Tim's like, maybe, like, a firmer voice will do. So then, like, Kojo starts to warm up to her, starts kissing her face, and Tim's all like, that's my job. I don't know. It just was cringy for that moment.
I mean, like, the scene was cute, but I was just like, the dog is literally like all over Ashley. I was like, Tim, not your best flirting move, dude.
I also just don't like dogs kissing me on the face. So I was just like, this is a really like cringy scene. I don't know. But then yeah, when he was like, that's my job, I was like, yeah, with Lucy. Like whenever you two get your stuff together, that's your job with her. Like it's fine. But then like Tim gives her that look, that like lovingly look. And again, that should be reserved for Lucy. I'm just saying. So
Fair.
yeah, that was it for the Chenford Ashley of it all. I don't know. It was interesting.
It was definitely surprising because I know people were like wondering if like when we saw the promo photos at first if Ashley was like spying on Chenford somehow. But no, it was actually Ashley like trying to make things work with Tim and like calling Lucy for help.
Yeah.
You see that in all the like romance movies though. Like it's
the creepy like stalker.
Well, I mean that, but then also like the like I mean Tim and Lucy are like friends now, but just like, it's like best friends, like then the girlfriend calls the best friend who, also happens to be in love with the other friend. But kind of, I don't know.
I also wonder if like okay, so the episode didn't necessarily end with Tim and Ashley, but I wonder if it'll like pick up next episode. I'm sure that it will because of the whole like John and Jason stuff. And then like, are we gonna get another Tim and Ashley like morning scene? Surely they wouldn't do 2 kitchen scenes back to back. And ending the episode with the kitchen. And then my brain just goes to the part that none of us Chenford shippers want to see.
What, like a bed scene?
I mean, I didn't say it, you did, so
It's all right.
yeah. I don't
I
know.
mean, we
That
saw it
or
with Rachel and Tim, and I didn't completely hate it, but
yeah,
should be Lucy.
yeah. But
Hopefully, will be soon.
I don't know. I I don't know of any other scenes that they could do where they would like incorporate Ashley and Tim. And like, I mean, maybe in the family room, but like, I don't know. It just, yeah, I guess a bed scene just makes sense. If it means we get shirtless Tim, I'm here for that. I am.
That's true.
Yeah, so then we have just a little bit of Lopez because hi, I am Wesley trash. Especially after last night. Him in that jacket, I was like, okay. I love him in a suit, but like I can get behind this look too. Yeah, Wesley hasn't heard back from the state bar yet. And so Angela's like, he hasn't slept the last few nights. Hope he hears back soon. And then like on cue, he comes in and they say that he's like suspended, that his license is suspended for 6 months. I mean, that's better than being completely disbarred.
Yeah.
So
It sucks though that he can't like practice law for
yeah.
that amount of time.
So then, like he says that he can appeal it, but it won't make a difference because he broke client confidentiality. And the state bar takes that very seriously. So then, but like he's not even worried about the suspension. Like he's worried about this list of lawyers that he's on now. And it has lawyers listed who have taken bribes from their clients, like, who have basically embezzled. And so he just says like for the rest of his career, like any potential clients will see that he's been censured. So that kind of stinks to hear, but he'll make the best of it, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's already trying with the whole community center thing, so it's like I hope we see more of it. It'd be cool to have like Angela stop by the community center if they keep that going and like see him doing good, because I feel like she's worrying about him even though she doesn't
necessarily need to.
Yeah, or that. Yeah.
But I mean, if we get more community center scenes, we get more James. And I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Maybe James with Nyla or Lila.
Oh, that'd be cute.
I mean, I doubt that'll happen, but like a girl can dream. So
yes, we can manifest and dream all the things.
Yes. So then that was it for the episode. We have some listener thoughts. So do you want to start off with Mindy's?
Yeah. So Mindy had said, Wesley and James being drunk together. I didn't know I needed that friendship until this episode. Same. Oh, she thinks they could do a podcast together. That was funny because we had talked about Angela and Wesley doing a podcast when they were first on like maternity and paternity leave. Oh my god, James and Wesley though. That'd be fun.
Yeah, especially because Angela was like, oh, they're just trying to like fix the justice system.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be amazing. Mm-hmm. Wesley with all of his free time could start a podcast.
Honestly, yeah.
And have Angela as a guest, James as a guest or a co-host, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I would be here for that.
Yeah. And he also said the episode needed more Angela and Nyla. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely agree.
Or Angela. I mean, we had seen some of Nyla, like, because she was partnered with John, but it definitely needed more Angela.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. They liked Lucy and Chris paralleling Lopez a bit. Oh, right. We had talked about that before we started recording. The like enemies to lovers kind of trope, or just like the arguing.
Yeah.
Over how to do one's job.
Like the frenemies. Yeah.
Yeah. And Chris Chen for a ship name. Quite possibly, if he does like stick around. I don't know. I haven't seen anything.
He is back next episode.
Oh, he is back. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then there you go. Okay. Potentially taken off.
again, it's got to be dealing like the stuff with Curtis has to be connecting to the Tamara stuff.
Oh,
Has to
probably.
be. Has to be. Because that kid that they arrested, that Tyler,
Mhm.
he's got to be around Tamara's age too. If
Yeah.
not, like maybe a little bit younger.
Mhm.
I can definitely see Lucy and Chris like paralleling Lopez a little bit. Maybe not in like, definitely not in the sense that like they get married or anything, but
Oh
like
God, no.
a fling, you know, like just stress of the day or something, or you know, like Chris just annoys Lucy so much, but she like kind of likes it, something like that, or he thinks that like her sassiness and like the no quit in her is like cute or something.
Yep. They
Yeah,
can have like a one-time. They can have one-time thing, and then just be like, "Okay, got that out of my system.
yeah,
I'm
there you
fine
go.
with that."
Yeah, I mean they're not bad. I thought last night, and I'm probably gonna get roasted for this,
Oh,
that they almost looked like brother and sister.
we'll see. I thought they were. I like. I don't know why. I thought we were gonna meet any of Lucy's family. I was over here like, oh, okay, is that gonna be Lucy's cousin or like what is this? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know, because they both have like just similar, like obviously like dark features, dark hair, similar like just facial features, and just I don't know. I just for whatever reason thought it was going to I don't know, just I like I said, I had not jumped on the Lucy love interest ship or
yeah,
train. So
yeah, I don't know, they almost look like they could be siblings or um like family members. One of his Instagram posts does say like in the caption, proud half Chinese boy, so like they're both Asian American.
yeah.
So I don't know, again, just something that I had noticed and was like, I mean, I can kind of see it, so yeah.
I mean, at least you didn't say that Chenford were like brother and sister. So there you go.
No. So then M said, I already feel like you're going to talk about Wesley in more casual attire now that he's been suspended for 6 months. I mean, let's face it, the man will probably still pull out a suit like every now and then to wear. I feel like that's just like
Probably.
his personality trait at this point. And then she asked like for our thoughts on his plans for the next few months. I mean, definitely helping with the community center stuff. We see him in the promo photos for next week, like talking to Bailey and Nolan. So they either need Wesley's help with like the Jason stuff, or Wesley needs their help for the Curtis stuff. I'm going with it's like for Jason though.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. I
Well, because
feel
like
like
Wesley had already mentioned like that he was gonna, maybe spend more time with Jack, maybe,
mhm.
be at home. So I'm all for Dad Wesley.
I also feel like Wesley will find ways, and not in a bad way or anything, to like lend his expertise to like Nyla with Donovan's stuff, and then like Lucy, Tim, he'll find ways to like help all of them, which will be really awesome to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And then I mean his friendship with James is adorable, and like I want to see more of it. I want to see a double date with Nyla and James and then Lopez. I'm mad that we didn't see that last night, but it's fine.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that would be fun. Ricardo said why Tim has a home alarm and what does the code mean? Oh, right. Um,
Everyone's hyper fixating on that, and I don't
yeah.
think that it's anything to like really worry about.
I don't know, because we had talked about it before we hopped on here, and we're like, could be a birthday, could be a like, other important date in his life. Um,
I mean, the
I
caption
I
from
don't know.
last night's episode said good because she responded to a tweet from someone that asked for the significance to Tim's alarm code. And she said, good question about the passcode. I can truthfully say it's all in the angles, but that's not to say you can't come up with a more Tim deserving reason that he is that code. characters come to life in some beautifully unexpected ways. So, I mean, it's all in the angles.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, because I had a thought and it slipped my mind. Something. Oh, well, I had mentioned that his like old badge number had like 3 of those numbers, but doubtful that that's really anything that he would do. So I don't know. I like I had said earlier, like before we hopped on here, if they had showed it just once, I wouldn't have thought much of it, but they showed it twice, so
Yeah, and like made a point to like zoom in on it.
yeah. So I don't know. I'm sure it'll come back around. Maybe. I don't know. Ricardo's also convinced that Ashley is the secret. Yeah, I'm not entirely. I'm glad she warmed up to Kojo, but like, I don't know. I just see like another obstacle in she and Tim's future, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I think that she is a secret. I think she's gonna be like cognizant of Kojo and like what Lucy means to Tim, because like Tim had said, with a smile on his face too, like Lucy gave me Kojo. So I mean, is she going to realize at some point like Lucy and Tim are really close friends? Like, is that a good thing, bad thing? Like what? So who knows?
Yeah. Kojo is Team Chenford. Yes. I was kind of bummed that we didn't actually get a Chenford and Kojo scene.
Yes.
In the episode. That would have been nice. Oh, Ricardo says he should be listed in the credits. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Main character. Chenford's pseudo child. But I mean, they're technically they co-parent the dog, so there you go. Need more screen time for Gray, Angela, and Nyla. Yep. Agreed. Chris is cute but didn't act likable. Yeah, I also agree. Yeah. He looks.
I don't know, with the show, like I can't judge them the first time around. Like I have to like let them warm up to me.
Yeah.
Because like Tim did, there was another character that did too.
Fair.
I was just like, yeah, I gotta warm up to you here for a minute.
Fair. Ricardo also expected Oscar to be in the plane. Yes, I did too. I was kind of surprised that he wasn't. Honestly, though, I kind of thought that like Oscar somehow like planted Levi's fingerprints in the plane, and I'm like, but why would he do that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I was reaching. I was so dead set. I totally thought Oscar was gonna be on the plane.
Well, I mean, you see Oscar's name in the episode description, and you're like, okay, he's back. He's like our favorite cameo. Why is he here? And we know that he's always up to something and wanting some kind of like freebie from the cops. So what is he up to?
Right.
And then Janine said that she loves any scene for Lucy and Tim, but Tim like really makes Kojo salmon and eggs. Does Lucy know that? I mean, I would like to think that she was the one that like researched it and was like, do you know eggs and salmon are good for a dog's cholesterol, and like they should have this 2 to 3 days a week or whatever?
Exactly.
Like Lucy was definitely the one that did that. And Tim probably just like rolled his eyes and was like, okay, whatever. But like inside was like, okay, I'm gonna make my dog that now, like, or make our dog that. And then she said, dogs are the best judge of character. I'm sorry, anybody that would go around their boyfriend's back to get their work partner to discuss their dog, regardless of the reasoning. It's just weird. There's something wrong with her. I mean, I would question more like, why does he have her dog? Like that would be like if I was the significant other to a guy and they weren't even like dating before and he just like had her dog, I would be like, okay, why?
Yeah. Because there were a couple opportunities where either could have, I mean, obviously I highly doubt Tim would ever disclose like why Lucy got Kojo in the first place.
Mhm.
And I don't think Lucy was gonna be forthcoming with that information, but I would have questioned like why. Like, oh, it was Lucy's dog. Why do you have him now? But like I feel like Ashley was just nervous, and like I feel like that's not a great sign in their relationship though, that she like
Yeah.
is nervous to like tell Tim how she feels.
I also feel like it's a little shady, kind of, that like she got Lucy's number somehow. Like,
Yeah, like
obviously she
how?
went into his phone. I mean,
Probably.
unless like maybe it happened off screen, we just didn't see it. Like Lucy met Ashley and was like, let's exchange phone numbers or something. Like I could see Lucy wanting to do that, like how what kind of was with Jenny Bradford, but like I don't know. Not seeing it makes me
Yeah.
think that like she like snuck into Tim's phone and got it because,
Yeah.
but like did she do it before the morning? Like before Kojo started barking at her? Like, did she originally not even want to call about Kojo? She was, or call about Kojo, but not why like he was barking at her. She just wanted to like find out more information about, I don't know. I
Yeah,
just,
like
it's
about the
weird.
dog or just
Yeah.
why.
It's
Maybe she
just
was
kind of
hoping
weird.
Lucy was gonna tell her why she gave him
Yeah.
to
It's just
Tim.
kind
I
of
don't know.
weird. Like, since she
Interesting.
called her. And like, why do you need her phone number? Um, so then, yeah, she said, Janine said, it makes you wonder what else she would do behind his back because she likes him so much. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like we can't totally trust her yet, but I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt. Um, she also said she loves how Lucy stuck up for Kojo and Ashley had to pick up on the care in Lucy's voice when describing Tim. Oh yeah, like Ashley had to realize that Lucy's voice changed in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it would have been obvious. But then yeah, Janine also said best line was Kojo is just like Tim. He's big, gruff, a whole lot of bark, but underneath all that, he's a sweetheart. Yeah, that was definitely like the best line. She said such a parallel to 203, her being all Tim's misunderstood to Rachel. She said in all caps, hello, Lucy, listen to your words. He's your man and that's your dog. Um, and Janine was just like, oh, Kojo liking Ashley and then just because she gave him treats. And she said, unfortunately, now I see her sticking around longer. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. Like we know that Lucy's gonna have a love interest too at some point. So
Mm-hmm.
she's gonna set up for jealous Lucy and jealous Tim. Hopefully. But then she said, we met Chris and damn he is hot, but also totally slappable. And
Oh.
she said, especially since he made Lucy tear up at the end. She
Yeah.
said, I can see them doing a hate like slash rip your clothes off scene. Um, with Chris and Lucy, like again, just as like a one and done thing or like stress of the day or just like you piss me off so much, but like I can't help it. Like I'm kind of attracted to you in a way. I
Yep.
can see that. So we'll just have to see. But also like I'm someone that I pretty much love just like any ship or like any two people that you put in front of me.
Oh, see, I have like opinions.
I mean,
So
minus Dean and Gilmore Girls. Like I'm rewatching that show and I cannot stand that kid. I can't. I can't. Every episode I just want to like shake the TV or something. I don't know. He's just annoying. Um yeah, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see with Chris and Lucy. She said, as far as Wesley, I think him getting suspended for 6 months is considerably better than him getting completely disbarred. And she said, I really think that him helping out at the community center will be helpful. And she thinks that if they try to fight this disbarment and he has to complete community hours, maybe all of his time at working at the center will be like almost the time that he served. Like it can kind of cancel
Oh.
out that community service.
Hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
She said, I have to admit, I like the scene with James and Wesley getting drunk. I thought that was really funny. And it looks like we have a new bromance in the rookie world. Definitely.
Here for it.
Definitely. Yes. And then she said, now to the biggest storyline, Nolan and Bailey. She said she really believes that Bailey did keep Jason a secret in a way to protect herself. And she thinks that she would have told John eventually, but she believes that Jason is bad news and that they have to watch their back, especially just because, like, considering next week's preview. She said that she knows when Bailey's truck didn't start and she was having a bad day, like she called Nolan. But did she get the truck checked out by anybody or just say that it was tampered, like say that it was tampered with, or like what was wrong with it? I'm honestly surprised that she didn't tell John about it. Like,
Yeah.
or say
yeah.
like, hey, I need a ride home or something. I don't know. It was just weird. Like, how did she get home then?
Maybe she
So-
called her coworker. I don't know.
Yeah. So then she also said just weird thoughts running through. Oh no. She said I would think if she would have got it checked out, there would have been a chance for someone to say that they could have found the drugs there for the police search. Exactly. I feel like there was just like a scene or two missing between all of that.
Yeah.
Like between the truck breaking down and then, the drugs being found. Or I guess the house was in there. So Jason could have like been waiting somewhere
See,
with the
this is what
house
I
and
mean.
like
I don't know.
planted the drugs in there.
Yeah.
But then yeah, she said just weird thoughts running through her head. Like when she walked into the house, she thought someone was there. Like she had a feeling that she found the wedding book, and like why didn't she go to the cops when she found it instead of confronting him? Exactly. Maybe she just thought that like she could handle it herself, which like by all means, but also like you're dealing with a convicted like person, like someone who was in jail for 2.5 years. Like, no, I would go to the cops.
Yeah.
So then yeah, so she had to like if she knew that he always had a manipulative side, like it would have made sense for her to go to the cops. So then yeah, I don't know. It's interesting how she dealt with the Jason situation. So then yeah, so she kind of closed it out by saying there was so much action through tonight's episode with this storyline. And then she had said in another bullet point, finally we saw Oscar. She knows that he's a baddie, but she loves him. And she has to admit that the whole storyline, like through the whole storyline, she loved seeing Tim, Lucy, Nolan, and Harper together again. And it kind of reminded her of 214, where they did the Black Ops investigation to help Tim's friend be cleared of murder. And that was also Kojo's first episode, so that was cool. And then she had like tweeted earlier today, like back to Tim for a second. They had too many close-ups on Tim's alarm system and Ashley watching him. She said she just has a bad feeling like it's something to be foreshadowed. Like Ashley breaking in. I don't know. I don't see Ashley doing that, but maybe.
Yeah, I don't see it. Can't see a reason why. Unless it's really gonna go all Lifetime movie on me, and then they're gonna get in some big fight, and then she's gonna be like
I feel like if
a
she
woman
was gonna
scorned or something.
plan on doing that though, she wouldn't be like so visually scared of Kojo. Like she wouldn't like jump.
True.
She would
Unless
like
she's
try and
just a
hide
really
it.
good actor.
Yeah.
I mean, in the, you know what I mean, not the actual actress, but just like the for Ashley.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like if she was like to break in or like thought or was planning on it or something, that she wouldn't like physically jump every time and kind of like back away when Kojo
Yeah.
is barking like that. But maybe.
I don't know. Because we haven't really seen Helena hasn't really posted any more like scenes from filming. Like the
Mhm.
actress that plays Ashley hasn't really posted anything else like from filming. So I don't know if like we are gonna see more of her and like when,
Yeah.
in what context. I don't know.
Yeah.
Definitely be
So,
interesting to see if that comes back. All right.
definitely. So that was it for Janine's thoughts.
Bonnie had said Chris Sanford. Oh, she says that he's literally Lucy's. Oh, is Li love interest? I'm terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with it. I'm with it. So yes, and Bonnie says that he's Lucy's love interest, and she can't be convinced otherwise. All right. Kojo's behavior. Kojo didn't behave like this when Rachel was around. It's Ashley. Oh, okay. So it's like Ashley specific.
Yeah, but Tim
Interesting.
didn't have Kojo.
Well, he had him when Rachel and Tim had the like bed scene, or like he was getting ready in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And Kojo was just laying in the background, just chilling. I
That's
think that
right.
was 219, maybe.
Okay. I'm just thinking of 203 and I'm like, no, he didn't have him.
No, not yet. Yeah, so maybe it is. I don't know.
This is something about Ashley.
Yeah.
Books are a good judge of character.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Bonnie said Ashley calling Lucy was weird and something's off there in her opinion. How did she get Lucy's number? Snooping through Tim's phone, maybe? Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It's the only way that I can pinpoint it.
Yeah.
Unless like maybe she saw like a note or something like on his counter or something that had Lucy's phone number. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but
Yeah, I don't know either.
think of all the possibilities here.
Mhm. Yep. Lucy suggested Tim listen if he likes the girl, and he listened to Lucy, so he likes her. Yep. I think everyone was saying that too, because yeah, because Lucy had suggested that Tim listen to Ashley. Of course, Ashley didn't really like tell Tim, hi, Kojo kind of like, I'm a little bit freaked out.
Yeah.
But Tim did listen to Lucy because Lucy went and kind of, did that on Ashley's behalf. So it was nice of her. Bailey's husband deserves to be back in jail. Yes, he does. Hopefully next week we'll put him back there. I don't know.
I'm getting really weird vibes from Jason and Ashley.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Lucy's face when she was telling Ashley about Tim and Kojo broke Bonnie a little bit. The question is she fully aware she's in love with Tim? Oh, like is Lucy, I'm assuming?
I feel like maybe a little bit, like not completely aware, but she knows that there's something there. But
Yeah.
she's just trying to, after what happened with Nolan and like Bishop kind of talking to her, she's just kind of like trying to push it down.
Yeah. Yep. I feel like she's aware of all these feelings. She just doesn't want to admit that that's actually what they mean.
Yeah.
So.
And then literally on Twitter had said the Wesley, James, Lucy trio. Will we see more of them? I hope so. I mean, James is back next week and we have that tomorrow stuff. So I hope that it like kind of, continues on. And I hope to see like if we're seeing more of Wesley not doing his lawyer thing, I kind of hope that we see more of him and James. Also, okay, this question just popped up into my head. If Wesley is not practicing law for 6 months, what happens to his office? Does he still have that? Or does he like sell it? 'Cause
upset.
they don't need
you dare. I manifested that for so long and we get it for like 3 episodes and it's gone. No, I refuse.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to think like, okay, because they're
refuse.
not gonna have 2 incomes coming in. But like Angela's income is probably like big enough to support them anyway. And they still have their nanny. So like, are they just gonna be paying rent on Wesley's place and or Wesley's office and then just not like him using it for actual work? Like maybe he's using it for community center stuff, but I don't know. I have that question.
Wow. That upsets me.
Sorry. And literally also said like, is this trio and like this storyline with Tyler and like Chris and all that a part of Lucy's upcoming personal journey, as we have learned in articles? I would say it probably is. It's got to be.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. So that was it for her. And then do you want to cover what
yeah.
Irene had said?
Oh, this is a fun one to end off on.
Yeah.
Irene said Tim always listens to Lucy. So according to Lucy's words, Tim likes Lucy.
Yeah, pretty much. They just need to stop being silly and, admit it to each other. So
Yep. So I think they both know. They just
don't want to admit it.
friends. Like they know that we know that they don't know or whatever.
Yeah. They know that we know that they know we know or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I missed that, but yeah.
Kind of. Because everyone else knows too. They gotta catch up.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean that's it for this episode. There was a lot to cover. But you guys can find us on Twitter at the Shop Talk Pod _ or email us at shoptalktherookiepodcast@gmail.com with all of your thoughts. We love to hear like your guys' thoughts after the episodes. And I mean, even just like when an article drops or an episode description, like promo photos, anything, we love hearing that. And like we love theorizing it too. So you guys can
if
hit
you guys
us up.
ever see stuff, like tag us and stuff.
Yeah, because I know that we're not on Twitter like as much, whether it's our personal Twitters or the podcast account. So I mean, if you guys see any news, any like pictures, anything like that, tag us in it. Feel free to tag us in your edits if you guys make like video edits, graphics. The fandom is so talented.
Fun stuff. We love all that stuff. We're just as much like into all that as you guys are.
Mm-hmm. We love a good edit that just like hits deep in the feels.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with that being said, you guys can find us individually on Twitter as well. I'm at jstark804.
And I'm at Carrie Hyman.
And that's it for us this week. We'll be back next week talking about 411 and all of the Chenford goodness that we're most likely going to get next week. So
hopefully.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Go get him, boo.